Guess who's back? It's me. Yeah, I need to get out another video, and it's about the Luciferian spirit, obviously. See, talking to you is like talking to me, and I mean, a vlog obviously is something like writing into a diary, so it helps me also to summarize my thoughts a little bit and speak it off my chest, kind of thing. So, that spirit, the Luciferian spirit, which is behind many things in the history of mankind, in the past of us, in the presence. Once you understand it and study this spirit, you will integrate it into your discernment and you will learn about many other spirits and have a better understanding for the world, and you will not be so easy to manipulate and fall for it. You need to understand the story of Lucifer, of course, to understand that spirit. And basically, Lucifer was cast out of heaven, so he's a fallen angel because he thought that he was omnipotent and omniscient, just like God. God gave him important tasks, so God was respectful with him and gave him important tasks, all right? But Lucifer thought that he was again omnipotent and omniscient, and this is simply not a truth. So this tells us that this spirit is delusional, basically. So it's not possible to resolve conflicts based on facts, on a consensus with this spirit, because it is on its basis delusional. So the truth is, in some way, that Lucifer is sterile. He is not omnipotent. He is not fertile. He cannot create the same way God can. Yet he thinks of himself he can. And thus he is delusional. So the spirit of Lucifer is delusional. And also it is a twisting spirit, which means it twists everything because it has a twisted sense of self and a twisted view of things, as we already saw with the delusional part of this, right? And the twisting nature of this spirit also leads us to the point where we see the several strategies it can use. And one of it is to speak of injustice. So the fact that Lucifer was cast out of heaven, when Lucifer tells this story, he will tell it in a way that this is injustice that happened to him. And he will present himself as a victim, while in truth he is a violator and a malignant and not, a delusional entity that cannot communicate on the basis of facts and equality. It's not possible. So this spirit, you can see of it, to give you an example of the real life situation. When we think of game studios that make computer games, think of a young, enthusiastic gaming studio that is very fertile and potent because it makes very good uh, games. Now suddenly an investor comes with a lot of money and says, all right, I can do that even better. Let me buy this studio. And so what will happen is this luciferian intellect sees the potential, the creative potential, which is a god-like quality, creation and potency. The luciferian intellect sees this, and in its delusion it thinks it can do the same thing but better. So it will join the boat and then throw the creative heads out of the boat, and thus destroying the potential of this game studio in the delusional thinking of the self delusion that the same quality is within this omnipotent luciferian spirit, that it can do the same but better. And this is what we see, that a lot of gaming studios really lose their spark and creativity when they are bought by certain investors, you know. So this is one manifestation of the spirit, okay? And what we also have to know is that this spirit operates on the basis of envy and grudge. So it's not honest admiration for something, but jealousy and envy, okay? And another underlying layer of this is the destructiveness of this spirit, which means once it understands, that it cannot do the same thing that it wanted to do too, it sees it, it is envious, it jumps in the boat, it throws out the other creative heads, and then it realizes, oh, I can't really do the same thing, I can't walk in these shoes. Then it starts to destroy everything in anger. And this is also a delusion of anarchy, anarchistic thinking, that once you destroy the gods, the creators, then everything will be different. But this is a delusion, and it's truly just about revenge and destruction up at this point. So nothing fertile, nothing beneficial ever comes out of this. Understand? Yeah. So it is twisting. It is operating based on envy and grudge of revenge. It is about a fantasy of being, a delusion of being omnipotent and omnipresent and omniscient. And it's about power. It's about executing power for the sake of power. So vanity, it's vanity, absolute vanity. And when we translate the spirit to psychological terms of pathological psychology, we see this spirit very much, of course, in the dark tetrad, in the DSM-5 personality disorders, right? Especially psychopathy, so to say antisocial personality disorder. We see the same delusion of or need for power struggle, and this the whole mindset is so twisted, and you never find a basis for a working communication with a person that is possessed by the spirit. It's not possible. It's not there. No communication is possible. It's all, yeah, one-sided, and communication is never one-sided. But it can only be one-sided if a person like this is engaged. And then we can also refer to the negative side of the inner child, of the man-child, of individuation. You know, individuation is a process of developing yourself, which includes being completely responsible for everything that you do, following moral code, and be independent of your parents, and so on and so on and so on. And the Luciferian spirit shows the negative sides of this inner child, that could never unfold and show its potential because the world is so injustice. This is the narrative of it, right? And thus it is frustrated and acting based on anger, hate, envy, and grudge, because it never individuated beyond that state. Yeah, so let me leave it here. I just needed to get out this one more video and just keep this for your discernment. Related spirits are, of course, the spirit of the Leviathan, which is also connected to pride, and of course, probably also the Jezebel spirit and many others. But it all goes back to this Luciferian kind of psychology and intellect. Power for the sake of power, destruction for the sake of destruction. But it's all twisted because it would never introduce itself in an honest way like this. It will always present itself different, as something good.